What's up, everybody? I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. This is another one of our teaching tactics video where we kind of break down a fight for my stream where I won or came out on top, and we kind of break down the thought process behind that and then what we can kind of pull from that for you guys to potentially learn as well. I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. I'd love to have you stop by and say hey. And if you like the video, dropping a like, commenting below, or subscribing to the channel all helps me out a ton. So thank you to those that do that. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So as usual, what we'll do is we'll watch kind of the clip back in its entirety, and then we'll kind of go back and break it down. The setup here is I'm running solo. I'm on shoreline. I've got MP7. I had just cleared the west wing and then the admin, and I was moving over to the east wing and was hearing some stuff and kind of wanted to get involved in some PvP. This video was kind of about how to use mobility and quick thinking as a solo player to confuse a squad or potentially even make them think that there's more than just one of you, which can be really, really effective when you're up against duos, trios, or squads as a solo player. So we'll go ahead and roll this, and then we'll kind of go back and talk through it.
It sounded outside, though, didn't it? That sounds up front. Oh, it is. That's a terrible nade.
So aside from my atrocious grenade throwing skills, that ended up being a super fun fight that worked out really well. And so we can kind of roll it all the way back from the beginning. In shoreline, especially when you're up at the resort, I had cleared the west wing and the admin and hadn't really come across any PvP. So at this point, you're less like 100% certain about where anybody's going to be because enough time in the raid has passed. So I was hearing stuff out front, which isn't that surprising. East wing is kind of oftentimes the most contested part of even the resort on shoreline. So I knew stuff was going to be happening. I was hearing it. I was trying to identify where it was, and we were able to identify that it was outside out front. Now, in all honesty, engaging with these guys with an MP7 from this far away, especially going full auto as opposed to single taps, probably wasn't the smartest idea. It looks like once I pulled the recoil down, I got a few hits on each one though, which identified to me that there was two, and now they're both probably a little bit hurt. So these grenade throws, I mean, are memes. They're terrible. But to be honest with you, the purpose of these grenades wasn't to kill anybody. On the east wing, and this is actually going to come back, on the east wing of resort, there's a very small place that you can enter from. There's the front, which is kind of where they are out front, and they can come in by that little fire truck and go in. There's the back door, which as I'm running down the glass hallway, you can see the back door on the left. And then there's the glass hallway coming from the admin area. Those are the only ways to enter the east wing. There isn't a hole inside on the other side. I guess you could technically go up the metal staircase and then down the roof, but that's such a long play. You can figure out, you kind of know the choke point on the east wing, and that's inside. So I thought that after I engaged with them, that they were going to be moving inside and try to get to a position of strength, because if they cover the front door, then I can only come in to the left. Here is another door, and right here. And they can kind of hold that as a 2-man. So my grenades are basically me trying to just confuse, like assert some dominance, make a lot of noise, make some pushes. Nobody's pushing out directly into a grenade. So none of these grenades were to kill anybody. They were utility to allow me to get to a more forward position so that they couldn't get like a really strong position just holding both entrances. And then they would be in a really position of power over that fight. So I was trying to beat them there and push them back if they were there. After that last grenade throw, I heard somebody do something outside. So I was like, okay, I think they're still outside. They're shooting inside at the windows, what most likely near the staircase, I would imagine, because that's the only place they can really see inside. So they were trying to shoot there to either break the windows so they can see me or to try and get a lucky shot if I'm running by. I'm in here a little bit, so I think they're still outside. They're shooting at the windows, and I hear somebody go prone very faintly, and that tells me that they're going to be there for a while. So this is exactly where the whole purpose of the video comes together. Understanding where you are, understanding the map knowledge, and understanding less than traditional ways of traversing the map can pay off huge. So I know that they're probably thinking there's one way back after I'd thrown my grenades where I was in that little bathroom. There's one way for me to gain quick access to them, and that's go out the front door. I heard somebody prone, which meant they were both probably just holding that door, waiting for me to re-peek. So I'd already thrown a bunch of grenades. I don't know if I had any more. I could have played the game where I tried to throw a grenade and then go for a quick peek, but I've been using this play a little bit more frequently, which is coming to the admin side, the glass hall, shooting this out, and then giving myself an additional entry and exit point of the east wing. Now I can wrap around here and get on kind of the backside of where they are. Now, to this guy's credit, he heard that glass break and he was kind of ready for me. I was thinking that they were going to be more far side, so I didn't even notice this guy. But when I did, instead of engaging him, I definitely noticed this guy late. I'm really lucky that he didn't land a good shot on me here, because I'm away from cover, as you can see, and I'm looking under the truck. I'm looking over here. I'm trying to listen if they're pushing up. I don't want him to hold this corner against me, and I missed this really obvious push by this guy, or peek by this guy. By the time I noticed him right about here, I made one of those quick decisions where it's like he's holding the angle and I'm just now seeing him. I don't have time to acquire the target. Most of the time, the way this fight is going to play out is if I try to like crouch, acquire target, and shoot at him, he's already seen me and probably has me in his sights, which gives him the advantage. So at this point, when I see him, I just run away. I just try to turn, get that ambulance between me and him, and then do some kind of like side to side peeking and figure it out. Right here, I take some shots at him, but I see flying over the top of the ambulance is his buddy throwing a grenade. So, there's still two of them. They're still both very much alive, and I have to worry about that. So I see that come over, and I'm like, okay, this is a bad position. This is actually an interesting thing as well. I kind of intentionally am holding a little bit low. The MP7 has really solid like stats and numbers for recoil, but it has a pretty significant vertical kick on the first few shots. I use the MP5SD a lot, and it doesn't really have that. You can basically just aim for the head and laser beam them. But using the MP7, I'm aiming a little low, almost like center of mass, crotch region, and when he peaks and I shoot, it pulls right up and I clip him in the face and he dies. Now that appears to maybe be a little bit of desync, which is unfortunate because even I was surprised that I would hit that shot. But there's still like a lesson to be learned there. There's still something to pull there, which is knowing your range and knowing your weapon. I was aiming a little low. It worked perfectly. It climbed right up to his face, and I was able to eliminate that guy. Now, once again, going back to the mobility, going back to confusing them, this guy, I think I hear him prone, and I don't want to peek the same angle. So I hop back over. I hop back into the resort, and I try to get to a different position of power. So this is where it comes in, where you can confuse people a lot of times. Like I engaged these guys from really far away from admin. I engaged them from inside the resort where I am by throwing grenades. I jumped out the window, engaged them from the outside. I jumped back in the window, and now I'm engaging this guy again. So these guys are probably confused as to how many, where we are. Last known position is something that I talk about a lot. 99% of the time, if you engage an enemy, they're going to be holding the direction that you were previously. So I could have peeked this guy, I could have pushed this guy, but I can jump in here, and almost every single time, he's going to be looking a different direction. Now, in this case, he was still prone, which is a really exposed position for him from the other wing, from people coming up from other places. And I'm inside. I've got a little bit of sight here. I hear him prone crawling, and I just see him underneath there. And with the MP7, I can just laser beam him and take him out. And that's the 2-man. So this turned out to be super, super fun, engaging them from super far away. I'm trying to be aggressive without making stupid decisions or without putting myself in terrible situations. You can win fights from terrible positions. You can win fights after you make stupid mistakes. That's just how Tarkov is if you hit a lucky shot. So I'm trying to find that balance there where I'm being aggressive as a solo player, but every step of the way, I'm basically taking a step back and thinking about what's going on. Just because I get one cool kill doesn't mean I should just shift W and push straight up. Just because I took a good position like this right here. We took a good position. We realized that they weren't where we thought. And I said, I can get a better position. So I move. It's constantly reacting to the audio that you're hearing them prone tells me that they're going to stay there for a while. All this kind of stuff adds to this experience. But the big thing that I'm always trying to kind of talk about and push is using map knowledge to your advantage, one, which gave us the ability to kind of create some new exits and entrances on this map, and two, mobility and confidence can confuse your enemy. It can make them think that there's more than just one of you. You can do this with a duo or a squad, but especially for solo players, you can convince them that there's more of you than there really are. And oftentimes aggression, but smart aggression, keeps your enemies where they are. It keeps them staying put. These guys would have survived this if they had backed off while I was transitioning positions and then just either completely disengaged or re-engaged from a different spot. But because I was constantly applying pressure, they never felt like they could move, so they stayed in a really, really exposed spot, which is probably what often led them to make some of the decisions that they made and won me the fight. So as always, I hope that these teaching tactics videos and the Beyond the Grave videos help. I hope that you guys find value in kind of like breaking down fights like these. I don't always make cool plays like this. You know, sometimes we die really stupid ways, and that's the whole Beyond the Grave series. But when I do, I want to pull what we can out of that and kind of help you guys become better players as well. So I really hope that this helped, and I hope that you can utilize some of these tactics while you're playing Escape from Tarkov. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to check out the video. If you liked the video, think about dropping a like, commenting down below, or subscribing to the channel. If you want to see fights like this and more live, I stream Escape from Tarkov on Twitch. All those links will be down below. We've got other cool stuff going on. We always have our sponsor, Juju. We've got brand new merch. That link is down below as well. And a Discord server. That link is below as well. We've got over 4,000 members now. Tarkov veterans, new players, everything in between. Thank you so much for hanging, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.